What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Plan With Me video. As you already know, this is my March Plan With Me video, and let me tell you, I had the hardest time figuring out what I wanted to do for my March theme. I spent days trying to figure out what theme I wanted to use for this month, and it got to the point where I needed to start filming and I still had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. So I isolated myself in my room with a blank notebook and my Pinterest, and after an hour or two, I finally decided on this daisy theme. I was stuck on using green for my main color, but also didn't want it to be the entire theme color, so when I saw this theme idea, I knew I had to try it out. Plus, it's also such a cute way to bring in the springtime. It's been extremely cold and snowy where I live for the last couple of months, so I guess I'm trying to manifest some warm and nicer weather with this theme. But what's the weather like where you live? We get all the seasons here, but sometimes it feels like winter can last about half the year. Anyway, as you can see, I kept my doodles fairly simple, like always, because I seem to be having less and less time to plan out and make my spreads. And I know a lot of other people are also in the same boat, so I like to keep my spreads easy to recreate since not everyone has hours of free time to journal. Plus, I also think it's important to show people that simple can also be beautiful because there's so many amazing artists out there that make such incredible spreads, but they're not always the easiest to recreate. But I also just prefer a more minimal theme or layout, and I like to utilize the white space. Everyone likes different styles, so you just have to find what you not only enjoy making, but also what you like to look at and use. If you seem to not like what you are making, then try out some new styles because maybe you'll discover a talent you never knew you had. That's something I challenged myself with this year because I always fall back to what I'm comfortable with and what I know how to do, but at the same time, I've also wanted to try some other styles. So be sure to leave a comment with your favorite way to journal so we can all give each other some new ideas. Lately, I've been so obsessed with the simple and open calendar layout, so I'm using it once again for this month. I mostly changed my calendar layouts based on how I think they fit with the theme I'm using, and I felt that the more airy layout suited this theme better, as it's more of a delicate one. But as always, I place my monthly header at the top of the page by first writing March in simple block letters using the theme color, and then writing it a second time in a simple cursive, weaving over and under the green letters. Next, I wrote in the numbers for the calendar days in the center of each daily box and then decorated around the entire calendar with the daisy theme. I'm not gonna lie, I had quite a bit of trouble the first time I tried to draw these daisies. I couldn't get the petals to be the right size and things just didn't look right. Then finally, I found that the easiest way to get the right proportions for the petals was to first draw an oval in the direction you want the flowers to be facing, then draw a smaller oval for the center of the flower inside the top half of the larger oval. And lastly, you want to draw the petals around the flower's center, making sure each petal reaches the edges of the larger oval. Hopefully that made sense to you all, but maybe also seeing me draw them will help you learn how to as well. To finish off the spread, I just wrote the first 3 letters of each day of the week in all capital letters at the top of the calendar. If you've watched most of my recent videos, then you can probably guess what my first weekly spread is going to be even before seeing it, but I just can't seem to help myself when it comes to this layout. It's so simple and easy, and it gives me a lot of space to write down all of my daily tasks, so why would I not use it? I also love that you can change up the daily headers to basically anything you want. Sometimes I use regular boxes like I did this time, and other times I'll get a little more fancy and use some type of ribbon banner. There's honestly so many different ways you can make the headers, and it ends up looking amazing every time. So if you don't like using the same exact layout every time but also have a hard time finding new ones you like, then I highly suggest trying this one out because it not only gives you a lot of space, but just simply changing up the headers can make it into a whole new spread. You can also move the boxes around to have the blank space anywhere on the page to switch it up even more. Another thing I like about this spread is that it's super quick to make. This is definitely one of my fastest layouts because the daily boxes take up so much of the page and I only have to make a little accent doodle in the remaining space. The most time-consuming thing about most spreads is doodling and incorporating the theme into the page. Sometimes there's so much extra space that I have to spend more time than I would like filling the space up with whatever theme I have for that month. I will say though that spending the extra time is never a waste because it always ends up looking amazing, but sometimes we just don't have the time and need a layout that will only take 10 minutes to make. My second weekly spread is by far my favorite of this month, and it was actually one I was afraid it wouldn't turn out how I imagined, but the bullet journal gods were on my side this time, and it turned out even better than I thought it would. So I started by writing my monthly header at the top of the left page and drawing stacked horizontal rectangular boxes for each day of the week. To give the page a bit more dimension, I staggered the daily boxes, alternating them between being oriented on the left and the right side of each page. And I made sure to line up the daily sections on the right page with the ones on the left to keep everything cohesive. And then I just filled in all of the empty spaces with daisies. With this empty space here, you could add another section if you like to have space for weekly notes or goals, or even a weekly tracker if you like to track habits during the week instead of throughout the month. I haven't been using my weekly notes sections lately, so I decided not to use any for this month, but there's usually always room in my layouts to add one if you want to. Next, I colored the daily boxes on the top using the theme color, and I decided to leave the box layered underneath white, but you could also use a gray color to create a shadow effect as well. And to finish off the spread, I added in the days of the week in a simple all uppercase font. You can use any font style you like for this part, but I thought this one suited the spread best. This weekly spread is also one that I'm super happy with, and you'll see why when it's all done, but I think it's definitely because of the banners I chose to use for the daily sections. I've used this banner a lot lately, but sometimes it just looks so much more amazing in some spreads as opposed to others. Banners like this one can be a bit time-consuming trying to get everything to line up perfectly, but I promise it's so worth it when you're finished. But if you're someone who doesn't like to spend the extra time using a ruler to make the banners like this, then I highly recommend checking out Notebook Therapy's new stencil kits. They not only have the banner designs, but they also have so many cute decorative shapes and even trackers. Plus, they also come with a ruler and different pre-made borders on each stencil set. I'll leave a link to their website in my description below, and you can use my code BUJOBYLOW10 to save 10% on your purchase. I also highly recommend checking out their bullet journals as well because they are by far the best journals I have ever used, and they have such cute designs on the cover. To complete the spread, I colored in all the banners with the green color and then wrote in the days of the week in a simple cursive. This page felt a little more elegant to me, so that's why I chose to use the cursive writing instead of my normal handwriting. The next layout is one I haven't done in a while, so I thought I would bring it back for this month. It's one that can fit with almost any theme, but it works extremely well for certain ones, with this theme being one of them. So I just split up the middle part of the page into 8 sections, 1 for the monthly header and 7 for the days of the week. And I also outlined the area where I will write the daily headers. Then I covered the outer sections of the spread with daisies, and I could have fit more into these areas, but like I've said before, there just wasn't enough time for me to do that. But if you do have the time, then definitely draw in as many daisies as you can because it would look so amazing. And then I just did the exact same thing on the other empty side of the page. Next, I colored in the area I previously sectioned off for the daily headers with the green color, and I made these sections fairly large because I felt that the spread just didn't have enough color and life to it. And then at the very bottom of the page, I drew in the mini calendar. Lastly, I wrote in the days of the week using the all uppercase font style, and I put the days on the outer edges of the page and the number days in the inner edges of the page, but you can easily swap those if you like it better the other way. This was one of the months where I had to make 5 weekly spreads instead of 4, and for some reason it's always so difficult for me to think of a 5th spread. Mostly because I only really use the same few layouts, but also because I'm just not used to planning 5 at a time. But I decided to kind of do the opposite of the last spread by having the daily boxes along the outer edges of the spread and leaving an open space in the center for drawing the daisies. But as you can see, I left an open space at the bottom of each box for writing in the days of the week, and I will also highlight that area with the theme color to bring in more life to the boxes. And then I just filled in all of the empty space with some doodles. But that is all I have for my March Plan With Me video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found some ideas or inspiration for your own journal. If you want to see the rest of my March spreads, then be sure to follow my Instagram page linked in the description. But be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and keep on watching for a full flip through.